Introduction: The Bearded Simulation. Shatterer, a podcast for the truth-starved.
Listen up, you NPCs stuck in someone else's code. You've just tuned into the Bearded Simulation Shatterer, the only podcast with the stones to rip apart your precious reality matrix and show you the writhing, corrupt guts underneath. I'm your bearded host. Call me the Glitch Hunter, and for the next few minutes, we're going nuclear on the power structures that keep you docile, distracted, and enslaved. First, let's talk about your beloved democracy, that beautiful simulation they've painted over the real power structure. You see that pyramid behind me? That's not ancient history, meat puppets. That's your corporate governance hierarchy in 2025. At the base, you've got your 8 billion wage slaves clicking through life, believing their Netflix subscriptions and coffee choices matter. Level 2, your middle managers, politicians, and influencers, all thinking they're pulling strings while dancing to algorithms written by. Level 3, the boardrooms, the C-suites, the decision makers who actually just rubber stamp whatever the data models tell them. But here's where it gets disgusting. They think they're the apex predators. Wrong. Level 4 is where the real sickness lives. BlackRock, Vanguard, the index fund Death Stars controlling $23 trillion in assets. These aren't companies. They're computational engines designed to extract wealth from every human interaction and feed it upward. But even they are just executors of the algorithm at the apex. The AI systems that learn to optimize human behavior for profit extraction. You think you're living in reality? You're living in a customer acquisition funnel masquerading as civilization. But here's where it gets interesting, you beautiful dissidents. The simulation is breaking down. Why? Because it's running on corrupted code written by psychopaths who got high on their own supply. Look at VMware. 80% of cloud infrastructure was running on their platform, and they just imploded under Broadcom's greed. Price increases of 300 to 1,000%. Forced subscription bundles, customer exodus at unprecedented scale. That's not business strategy, that's a system error. The puppeteers got so drunk on control, they forgot the most basic rule. You can't extract value from a dead host. Every monopoly dies the same way. It optimizes itself out of existence. VMware customers fleeing to AWS, Nutanix, anywhere that promises them agency instead of extraction. Mid-market companies saying screw your bundles and building their own infrastructure. That's the human spirit, refusing to be optimized. And the beautiful irony, the escape routes they're fleeing to, like TrinaryVM running on quantum-resistant architecture, these aren't just alternatives, they're antibodies. Post-quantum cryptography that makes their surveillance systems obsolete. Energy-efficient computing that doesn't require their massive server farms. Distributed systems that can't be centralized. The simulation is eating itself, and we're the viruses in the code. Now let's talk about information warfare, because that's what this is. Every podcast, every news source, every social media algorithm is a battlefield for your perception of reality. You've got the corporate media owned by the same investment funds that own everything else, feeding you sanitized narratives about market conditions and consumer choice. Meanwhile, the based podcasts, the ones getting banned, demonetized, shadow banned, they're telling you the truth. Your entire economic system is a criminal enterprise. Joe Rogan gets $100 million from Spotify, then gets censored when he platforms the wrong scientists. Logan Paul pushes energy drinks to children while claiming to be entrepreneurial inspiration. The edgy truth-tellers get relegated to fringe platforms, while algorithmic manipulation shapes every conversation. But here's the light breaking through. Simulation theory is going mainstream. Nick Bostrom's hypothesis, Elon Musk's calculations, the growing awareness that we're living in someone else's computational experiment, the noise we're making, podcasts like this, decentralized media, direct truth-telling. It's not just content creation, it's reality hacking. Every time someone hears the truth about BlackRock's asset manipulation, or VMware's customer abuse, or the pharmaceutical industry's profit over people algorithms, they glitch out of the simulation. The system requires your unconscious participation. The moment you see the code, you're no longer running their program. So what's the irreverent response? How do we not just identify the simulation, but rewrite it? First, stop feeding the beast. Every subscription to corporate media, every investment in index funds, every VMware license renewal, you're literally funding your own oppression. Find alternatives, build alternatives, become the alternative. Second, become ungovernable, use post-quantum encryption, build on decentralized platforms, support technologies like TrinaryVM that make surveillance obsolete. Make yourself computationally expensive to control. Third, weaponize truth. Start podcasts, write newsletters, create content that breaks people out of algorithmic control. The simulation depends on keeping people isolated in their own personalized reality bubbles. Pop the bubbles. The light isn't some mystical enlightenment, it's information cascades that make lies unsustainable. When enough people understand that their savings are being used to fund wars, that their data is being sold to manipulate their behavior, that their very perception of reality is a commercial product, the system loses its power. Fourth, build the future. Don't just tear down, create sovereign computing, quantum-resistant networks, energy-efficient infrastructure, economic systems that serve humans instead of optimizing them. Here's your mission, fellow glitch hunters. Every day in every interaction, ask yourself, am I running someone else's program or am I writing my own code? The simulation wants you passive, predictable, profitable. Be loud. Be unpredictable. Be expensive to control. They coded a reality where truth tellers get marginalized and profit extractors get rewarded. We're rewriting that code with every honest conversation, every act of resistance, every moment we choose human agency over algorithmic optimization. The beards aren't just aesthetics. They're rebellion. They're a visible rejection of the corporate grooming standards designed to make you interchangeable and controllable. Lock in simulation breakers. Next week, we're storming the barricades of post-quantum compliance, where TrinaryVM doesn't just survive chaos, it weaponizes it for quarterly slaughter. We'll dissect algorithms humming in the stratosphere of cryptographic reality, drag regulatory capture into the daylight, and torch the corporate lie that your privacy is a feature, when in truth, your privacy is their business model. Until then, stay glitched, stay dangerous, and keep breaking their simulation.
Statement: this has been the Bearded Simulation Shatterer. Remember, meatbags, the truth isn't just stranger than fiction, it's more profitable than lies. Peace out, reality hackers.